Welcome to ProjectME, the podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, the founder of ProjectME, multimillionaire entrepreneur, former TV newscaster, money-making expert, female empowerment speaker, and self-proclaimed office supply addict. My mission is to take the mystery out of making big money. Every week on ProjectME, the podcast, I'll share success tips, strategies, and stories from other entrepreneurs, experts, and millionaires, showing you exactly how you can achieve your most exceptional life. Now let's get to it. You all know I love sharing my secrets of how I went from $17,000 a year to a multimillionaire. My top essential tool for managing my two successful businesses, plus my crazy life, is my paper planner. But not any random planner, specifically my Inner Guide yearly planner. The Inner Guide planner doesn't just organize my schedule, it helps me map out and discover my goals, dreams, self-care, and keeps my millionaire mindset on track. I want you all to get planning right away for 2019. So I arranged to get a special Inner Guide discount exclusive to my ProjectME posse. Go pick out your favorite yearly planner at inner-guide.com. And at checkout, use the code ProjectME 15% off, and you will receive 15% off your entire order. If you are driving or multitasking and can't write this down, the Inner Guide link and code is in my Instagram bio at ProjectME with Tiffany. And remember, as I always say, you are either planning for success or heading to failure. You are listening to the podcast ProjectME with Tiffany Carter, episode 48, How to Create a Business Out of Your Passion. You guys, I've polled you, I've read the DMs, I've asked you directly, I've asked in every which way, what are the most requested topics? What do you want to hear me talk about and teach? And one of the most popular and common requests I get is, Tiffany, how can I take my passion and turn it into a profitable business? So you ask and I deliver. Otherwise, what's the point of doing all of this? So if you guys have any requests on teachings, on trainings, anything you like me to cover in a podcast episode, just head over to Instagram or Facebook and message me. And that's at ProjectME with Tiffany. And I am more than happy to create an episode around it. Why not, right? You should ask. It's a free tool. So let's get to it. Here's the thing. This is for people, even if you have a business already. Okay. ProjectME with Tiffany Carter is my second business. This is my passion business. I'm grateful and I love my 7-figure business, TLC Enterprises, that I've ran for 11 years. And that lights me up in a different way. It's more, more serious, more corporate. I'm working with, executive level management in billion-dollar, plus companies. So that's a very different type of energy, different skill set, etc. But ProjectME is my passion project where I can give back and teach all of you how to get what you want out of your business, your life, create the wealth and freedom that you desire and deserve. And that really lights me up. My point in sharing all that is you could be in a career you actually really already like, but there's something you feel is missing. You're feeling called to something. So this is for anyone, if you have no business going on, you want to start a side hustle, you have a side hustle. Basically what I'm saying is this is for everyone. So give this a good listen. Take notes if you can. If you're driving, I don't want you to take notes, so you'll have to do a mental note and then come back to the episode later. So I have written down 5 key questions that has personally helped me, and I know has helped thousands of others get down to the business of figuring out how can I turn my passion into a profitable business. Because there are things that we love and things we're passionate about that don't really have an obvious translation into a business. But I'm telling you, even if you were into like underwater basket weaving, we could find a way to turn that into a profitable business. Just the line might not be as clear. Like, let's say the line is more clear, right? If you are someone who loves designing jewelry and it's a hobby of yours on the side, it's like, okay, well, we can create a store, even if it initially is on Etsy or something like that, to sell your jewelry, or we can develop a plan for you to sell your jewelry wholesale to different stores all over the world, right? That's a little more of an obvious line. But some things we're passionate about aren't as obvious. So I've developed these 5 questions over many, many years of doing lots of trainings, both in the corporate world and to the masses, that really help people dive in and open up their minds to new possibilities and avenues and how you can make money off of your passion. So the first one is, what are you passionate about? It's like, well, duh. Like, no, this was the hardest question for me to answer for a majority of my life. Seriously. I was asked this question, and I even remember where I was standing. It was in a Gold's Gym, obviously, because, I used to have a major workout addiction. And I remember being asked this by the Pilates instructor, and that's, it's a very nice question to ask. And in my single life, for the guys that actually were interested in anything I had to say versus talking about themselves, I got asked that question too. Another version of it is, or what are your hobbies? What do you like to do? What are you passionate about? I would get stumped, and then I'd get really embarrassed because I didn't have an answer, and I knew that wasn't like socially appropriate to not be able to answer that really quickly. And so I just started coming up with like a canned answer I could say back. And it was kind of BS. Like, I felt weird even saying it because I didn't really feel it, but I felt I had to say something just from a social perspective. Cause it's like, God, what's wrong with me? I don't know my passion, because my entire life I was told and taught by corporate America, even how growing up, I was taught that like passions don't really make money. Passions are hobbies. Hobbies don't make money. You need to, focus on the big picture and focus on, careers that make money, and just focus on sales and spreadsheets and, that kind of stuff. So I always kind of pushed any sort of passions and hobbies to the side, and just thought in order to be really financially successful, those were like saved for like retirement years. It might sound crazy to some of you, and some of you might really resonate with what I'm saying. But I really didn't know. So that question is super important. And I don't want you to feel ashamed that you might not have an answer, or your answer is something awkward. Like mine would be, in the past, it was like, well, I love working out. Well, that doesn't work with me. When I work with you guys in my personalized coaching, that one doesn't work on me. And I don't even care if you're a health and fitness coach. It still doesn't work on me. It's like, no, we need to go deeper than that, because I don't know anyone who is super psyched every single freaking day to go work out. It's like, I'm so excited to work out. Like, it's just, I'm not buying it. You can have a love for it and it can energize you, but passion, that's a whole nother level. But that was my answer. And then I did start answering travel, because that one is true. So I did say travel. So that one was true, but I didn't even know that initially. Like, I didn't even know what the hell was going on. But I always laugh when someone says, oh, I love working out. It's like, you might love working out, but we're talking about a passion here. So we need to go a little deeper. So what are you passionate about? Now, let me tell you really quick how I answer that today. And I love being asked this question now. And I also love asking it, because this is the root to freaking everything, to your happiness. If you are not doing things in your life that are aligned with your passion and making that occur in a large percentage of your life, you are going to feel dead inside, uninspired, bored, unhappy, depressed, anxious, etc., etc., etc. I promise, because I felt that most of my life until I got it together. So how I answer that now is I am so passionate about helping women actually achieve their goals and become financially free so that they can do whatever the hell they want in their life, and they are not dependent on any company or person for financial support. That truly lights me up in helping people reach their goals and having and not having any financial stress and feeling free. They want to travel. They want to take their kids to Disneyland every month. They want to get a massage every week. That it just lights me up. And for people to not feel trapped, because I felt trapped most of my life. So that's the opposite of being trapped, is feeling free. So that truly is my passion. My second passion is helping and inspiring people to grow their self-worth, to go from low self-worth to high self-worth. So as I teach when I do talks all over the country, is low self-worth equals low net worth. So true. There's a million reasons you need to grow your self-worth. It all starts from there because it translates into every area of your life. And the third thing I say is travel, and international luxury travel is my jam. And I could keep going. Then the fourth is I love rescue animals, my rescue dogs, supporting rescue animal associations and foundations, and educating people on why adopting is better than shopping for animals. So I could keep going. This is a completely different person than I was 10 years ago when I couldn't answer the question. So I want you to really have fun with it and brainstorm and put it in your planner, put it in your journal. And as you're going about your day, if something pops up, because it might not all come up for you at once, jot it down. Put it in the notes in your phone. I want you to have fun with it. This is a fun exercise. I don't want this to be a chore. Okay. So number 2 is, what skills are you great at that could benefit others or that already do benefit others? Like, who are you the go-to for? Like when people are like, oh my God, you got to call Cindy for this, or you got to call Joe for that, or you got to call Elisa for this. Who are you the go-to? Are you the problem solver? Are you amazing at tech stuff, figuring out, all things computers, all things digital? Are you a social media person? Are you someone who is really good at knowing what to wear and how to present yourself in certain situations? Who are you the go-to for? And I don't care if you're 20 years old or 70 years old and you're listening to this. Everyone is a go-to person. You don't have to have decades and decades of life experience to be the go-to person in your family, your circle of friends, or at work. Because guess what? We are all born with these innate talents, these gifts. We just are. That's why there are always those kids in school who are just like, didn't even have to study and they aced the math test, where you had to like study for hours and you maybe got a B. Maybe I'm talking about myself. So that's why there's some people who are natural at sports and they seem to like, they're freshmen in high school making, senior varsity. And you're like, oh my God, like I run like a 10-minute mile. That was also me, by the way. So that's what I mean is the age part is irrelevant. You can go back through my episodes. It's somewhere in the 40s, but I interviewed Leland Jones. He's 19 years old, is an author, and is a national motivational speaker at 19. And when you listen to this, you wouldn't even know he's 19. It's just he has that innate talent. And therefore, any sort of work he does around further developing himself and his business, it just escalates much more quickly. And you all have that. All of us do. So who are you to your friends, at work, family? What are your go-to? And it's not just one skill. There's usually one that sticks out, but it's not just that. Like mine, and it can change over the years, right? Mine is communication. I always get calls, Tiffany, what should I say in this situation? Or I'll have friends in business that maybe they're up for a raise, or they want a raise or a promotion. I do the full role play with them because I've hired and fired a lot of people. So I'm really good at it. So I do that. I can help them tweak their resume because I'm an excellent writer. So it's usually communication, both in written form and verbal form and video form, that a lot of people come to me to. So I know what those things are for me. I want you guys to write those down, and don't blow off the writing down part. That's something I used to do. Well, I know what they are. I'll just filter it in my head. Don't blow it off. Like I said, if you're in the car, then you can re-listen if you don't remember the questions, and write them down when you get to your destination. The third question is, what have you accomplished that others are impressed by? And if your first answer is, I don't know, Tiffany, like nothing. Oh my God, you sound like me. So many of us, we downplay all of our accomplishments, but being real, we all have accomplished something, and it doesn't have to be like, oh, I made $1 million, or, oh, I always come in the top 15 in any marathon I run. It doesn't have to be something that's like, obviously amazing, I guess you could say. The little wins in life actually are the things that add up to the bigger wins in the end. If you've noticed, people who have big wins, oftentimes they usually only have a couple big wins in their life. I would rather have 2,000 little wins than 2 or 3 big wins. Just saying. So what have you accomplished that others are impressed by? Like, whether you're someone who's confident about it and shares it, or you're not, and when someone finds this out about you, they're like, oh my God, that's amazing. And I'll give an example. I just met a woman who, she looks fabulous, has high energy, is running a business. And I find out that not only does she have 5 kids, she has one of her 5 kids has special needs. I was way more impressed by that than the fact that she actually has a multi-million-dollar business. I was blown away by it. I mean, that's an accomplishment to have raised 5 kids, right, by itself. And then on top of it, you have one with special needs. And on top of that, you're running a business. Really, really impressive. So there's an example. So it doesn't need to be obvious. I guess I could use myself as an example. A lot of people are really impressed by the fact that I was a NBC and CBS TV newscaster, because that's obviously extremely competitive to get in there. It's very strict. You have to have a lot of talent, a lot of background check, a lot of education, a lot of things in order to get that position and to stay in that role. And obviously be really good at communicating and doing things like live TV, which is scary as hell to most people. So a lot of people are really impressed with my, I guess you could say, public speaking ability. So there's another example for you. If you are a creative person, for example, my fiance, he is extremely well known for custom car interiors. Like how people are doing they're doing super tricked out interiors where they're having, Louis Vuitton covered seats and, crazy stuff like that, or restoring, vintage Porsches and stuff like that. So he is more of a creative person, although he has to do a lot of things in terms of structuring and strategy and how he goes about things, but that's more of a creative thing. So people are impressed by what he has accomplished in terms of his art and his creativity and how he goes about things in designing custom car interiors. Okay. So you can apply that to other creative talents that you might have. Number 4, what skills come easily to you? We all have them, except we all seem to focus on all the crap that's hard for us and we can't do, because that's more aggravating than we do reminding ourselves of, oh my God, we have so many things that we are good at. So everyone has things that naturally come easy to them. and it usually annoys the rest of the world. And we all have a lot of things that we have to work at that don't come easily. Some things that are actually seem damn right and impossible, right? So for example, I'm not going to be writing code. Could I probably learn? I probably could. I probably wouldn't get very far because I have no desire and it stresses me out. But like most tech stuff gives me a rash, which is why I teach non-tech savvy entrepreneurs how to make serious cash, because I know I've done it. And I know there's a lot of you out there. So what skills come easy to you? Maybe you're amazing with finance. You're amazing with numbers. Maybe you are an awesome writer and your writing just nails it and it comes natural and easy to you. Maybe you're a natural communicator. Maybe you're naturally great at sales or connecting people, or you're an artist. So it's really easy for you to do graphic design or design logos. Maybe you're someone who comes up with really cool product ideas and they just naturally come to you. You don't have to work that hard at it. We all have stuff. And some of you, maybe the thing that comes naturally is could even be something to do with you physically as well. Like your body naturally really responds well to fitness and exercising. You're someone who truly doesn't have to work as hard in diet and in fitness to have this ultra, fit physique. And most of you, I don't like, because I have to work really hard at it, and I still never feel like there's much to show for it. But just be honest with yourself. It's okay. It's okay that it comes easy to you. That doesn't mean you're any less valuable to others because it comes easy to you. You don't have to struggle at something in order to make a business around it or to teach it. There's so much out there like, I started from the bottom, now we're here, that whole thing where it's like, I was in debt and now I'm a multimillionaire. It's like, you don't have to have struggled or been broke as a joke or near death, and now you're having vibrant health in order to make it. Those stories are helpful and important for people to see where you went from and where you are now. But there's a lot of stuff that comes naturally to me that I make a lot of money off teaching others because I'm good at it. And people want the best, right? So write these skills down, please. And number 5, what things at work or in business do you dread doing? I don't know why I saved this one for last, because this one is really important. So many of us are good at things, but we're good at things that we actually don't like doing. Does that make sense? So there are a lot of things I'm good at and I don't enjoy it. I was never taught that just because you're good at something, that doesn't mean you have to do it. I always thought if you're good at something, you need to do more of it. And in fact, you need to turn it to a damn profession and make money off it. And I really didn't get that. So I had to learn, just because I'm good at it doesn't mean I have to do it. If I'm good at it and I don't enjoy it, I don't like it, it stresses me out, it gives me anxiety, it doesn't light me up, it depletes my energy. Even though I'm good at it, I am not obligated to do it. In fact, it's the opposite. I'm obligated to figure out a way to do as little of it as possible, whether that means hiring other people, getting a free intern, or creating a business where as little of that is needed as possible. Some things are essential to business, where if you want to have a business, you're going to have to figure out a way to like some part of it. For example, sales, which is why a lot of people come to me, because it stresses them out, gives them anxiety, and they hate it. But I have a way of really reworking that where you end up enjoying it. Sometimes we don't like doing something because we have a whole mindset and belief system around it and we're just going about it wrong. Or we don't like doing something because we've failed at it many times. We've crashed and burned many times. Like for example, I feel like I'm saying for example a lot in this episode, so I apologize if that's annoying. I'm starting to annoy myself. Skiing or snowboarding. Tried both. I was raised in the Midwest, raised in Chicago. There are no mountains there. And so, coming out here, I've done the Tahoe thing, the Mammoth thing. I am not good at either. And quite frankly, no one really is when they start. It takes a lot of falling, as many of you guys probably know. But I've developed this thing where I go, I don't like skiing or I don't like snowboarding. Well, I don't really know that to be true. I've done it twice and I fell the whole time, but that doesn't mean I don't like it. It's because I just am not good at it and I didn't pick it up in 2 times. So therefore I've deemed that I don't like it. You see what I'm saying? It's like, I don't really know if I like it. I have to try to catch myself where I'll say, I don't know how to, and therefore I don't know if I like it, because a lot of things that when we're learning and we're new, if they don't come naturally to us, it's really not fun until we start grasping it. You see what I mean? So what do you dread doing? What is it you dread? And you can even go back, to a corporate job that you've had, or go back to school. What classes were you like, oh my God, this is horrible, but I have to take it? For me, those were science classes, not biology. I liked that. It was more like physics, like when it started getting like really deep into numbers where I didn't see how I was going to be able to use that in my life. Hated it. So therefore, obviously, I didn't go out to try to be an engineer. I would have failed miserably. So what other things at work? And I want you to write down things all throughout, like for the next few days, because we can't always think of everything all at once. And this is not a negative exercise. This is an exercise to make sure when we're getting to how to make profits off your passion, that we make sure that it's not going to involve a whole bunch of things that you hate doing, because you won't be able to make profits if you're doing 80% of stuff that you don't really like doing, even if you're good at. You might for a short term make some money, but it's not sustainable. You'll burn out, you'll be resentful, and you deserve to make great money and enjoy doing it. You're not going to enjoy every day. Anyone who tells you they do, unless they are seriously like rolling in so much money that they like never have to work again a day in their life and they could afford to lose, $3 million a year. Okay, that's something to aspire to be. That's great. But most people don't enjoy every single day of their business life, even if they have a great business. I know I don't, because maybe I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Maybe I'm tired and I didn't sleep the night before. Maybe I have to do taxes, because when you have a business in the United States, you have to do taxes 4 times a year. And it's a lot of adulting and a lot of paperwork and a lot of receipts to go through. And it's not fun. And you have to be the one to do it, because you're the person who's putting your signature on the page. You don't have to actually do the taxes, but you have to do all the prep. So don't get too carried away with it. But I want you to write down things. Okay. All these things you don't like, little things, big things. And then you'll be able to see, okay, is what I'm passionate about and taking that into making a business out of it, or how many of these things that I really dread doing would be involved. So you can see that. You're going to start connecting the dots with these 5 questions that I asked you and the answers. So what you're passionate about, okay, needs to coincide with, okay, what skills do I have that people come to me for, that I can benefit others? And then what have I accomplished others are impressed by? How all of that relates back to your passion, whether it's jewelry making, being a fitness health coach, being a business coach, starting a nonprofit. And I want you to see how all of these answers all tie back to your passions. And you might have 3 or 4 passions written down. That's fine. You might have 10. But I want you to see how they all tie in. And you can even, if you're doing this on paper, you can even take a line and start drawing, in different colored markers, because, we have to use office supplies here at ProjectME, or I will die. You could start using different colored markers and see how all of those various skills, accomplishments, things that come easy to you all tie back into your passion. And this is how you can start seeing the line and the pathway into turning a profitable business out of your passion. So I'm going to take you through, before we hop off today, how this went down with Project Me with Tiffany Carter. Okay. So that you guys can do this exercise for yourself once you have all your answers down and you've drawn the pathway and you see the connections all back to your passion. Okay, I had the idea. Now it's been 11 years. Okay. I've had the name Project Me with Tiffany Carter. And the me stands for most exceptional, meaning helping people get to their most exceptional life. And it all starts with you, meaning it all starts with me, ourselves. I've had this whole concept, this passion, this name for that long. And so in looking at my skill set, it's like, okay, how can I make money off of helping people get their achieve and sustain their most exceptional life and what that means to them? How can I make money off that? Because that kind of sounds pretty generic. That's not niche enough. That's not specific enough. It's like, what the hell does that mean? And my grand goal, right? I love public speaking. The bigger the stage, the better, because I feel I can reach and help more people. And I want to be, paid top dollar to do that internationally. So that's a passion that ties in with Project Me with Tiffany. So then I started listing my skills that I'm great at that benefit others. So I put in, communication, top sales expert, all my sales training, my written ability to, my ability to have great written communication, oral communication, and my amazing ability to educate and teach others. That was all proven through my other business, through my career, through all my speaking. I mean, that's what I'm constantly getting hired to do. And what have I accomplished that others are impressed by? We already talked about that I was a newscaster. People are impressed by how I position things and word things, that I have a way of wording things, of asking questions. And that all goes back into presenting a personal brand, sales, educating, teaching. What skills come easy to you? I could repeat all that again. Communicating, orally, written, educating, teaching, motivating, inspiring. And you see how those all are weaving together. You're going to see common themes in all of this. So they're all weaving together. It became very, very obvious to me. Oh my God, there's a business here. This is the common theme. Then I didn't have that question for myself of what I dread doing. Whoopsie, forgot about that one. That's probably why it's number 5 and it's so important, is I didn't incorporate that one. I kind of left that part out. So what I dread doing for me is a lot of heavy admin stuff, like all that tax prep, reports, all the tech stuff, right? So at least when we know what it is we dread doing, even if it's very realistic and obvious that is going to be a part of owning a business, I can then put that plan into place from the beginning, all right? Or I can put it into place starting today, of how I can reduce the amount of tasks that I hate doing immediately, because all that is sucking my energy and joy. And so I just shared what those tasks are. So, I am consistently interviewing and hiring people at Project Me with Tiffany. So, hey, if any of you guys want to work for me and learn from one of the best in the business, go and DM me on Instagram or message me on Facebook at Project Me with Tiffany, and we can get a conversation started. But I am hiring people. And for those of you who go, oh, that's a great solution, but I don't have money to hire people. Well, that's why you find interns, or you find other ways. You trade services. Okay, I can help Tiffany. I'm great. I'm a virtual assistant. I'm awesome at organizing. I'm awesome at, being able to manage all the adulty things. So I'll do that for you. If Tiffany, you write 2 press releases for me a month. So you can trade in this industry too. And people are very happy to do it. Just make sure that the trade is, fair and reasonable for both sides. So when you hear people like saying, oh, I outsource. And you're like, oh, that's nice, sweetheart. Like if I outsource, like I can't pay for my kids' like camp, or I then would have to sacrifice getting my nails and my hair done by who I want to have do it. And I don't really like that thought. Well, I don't either. And I don't want you to have either other. We can have all the above. So what I'd want you to do is you can do a trade, or you can hire an unpaid intern. And even if that intern is there for 6 weeks or 8 weeks, they're getting to be hands-on and learn from the best and have something to put on their resume that's legit versus having a gap. So there's always a solution, but that's where that number 5 comes in. So I hope me sharing my process and how I turned my passion into a profitable business helps you guys, helps inspire you. And it doesn't matter if you already have a business. This could add another service or product to your business. This could help you redefine and refine your business. This is an episode that you need to share to anyone who you know is not lit up with what they're doing in their life to make money. I want you to share it with them. And if you want to make me really extra happy today, take a screenshot that you're listening to the episode, post it in your Instagram stories, post it on Facebook, and tag me at ProjectME with Tiffany, and I will feature some of you in my stories. It makes me so happy to share the love that you guys have for the show and how it's helping you. And, like I said, do a friend, a family member a solid today who's just not happy in their life, their work life, their career, and just send them this episode. You'll be surprised at how much hope that can give someone. And as always, wishing you great health, wealth, and worth. Bye, guys. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.